Hi, my name is Ally Keegan, and I am a criminal defense attorney at the law office of David Shapiro in San Diego, where we help good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Today, I want to talk about a really interesting area of law, which is called criminal vacature. It is specifically designed for survivors or victims of human trafficking, and it is relatively new. It wasn't enacted until about 2017, so people are still learning about it. And it's a really, really helpful resource for survivors of human trafficking that I think more people should know about. So criminal vacature in California is set forth by Penal Code Section 236.14. And what it does is it combines two common types of relief in California that not just survivors of human trafficking, but anyone can get. The first is called expungement, which is where you withdraw your plea of guilty to a criminal case and you have the case dismissed. And then the second option in some cases is where you request to seal and destroy your arrest records. So what criminal vacature does specifically for victims of human trafficking is it combines those two things if you're eligible, and it both expunges the case and destroys any arrest records from any time when you personally were being victimized as a victim of human trafficking. Now, what's promising about it is it's the legislature beginning to understand that there's a gray area where often a lot of people that might be committing criminal offenses have themselves been a victim of criminal offenses themselves or are currently being victimized themselves. And what the legislature does for human trafficking victims here is it says we understand that while, yes, you might have actually technically been committing these offenses, you weren't necessarily to blame because you yourself were being victimized. And as a survivor of human trafficking now, we understand that you are entitled to this relief. So what do you need in order to qualify for criminal vacature? The first thing is your conviction needs to be for a nonviolent offense. So if it's a strike offense or something more serious, it might not be eligible. But if it's a felony or a misdemeanor and it's nonviolent, it's still on the table as something that you can consider for vacature. The second requirement is that you need to show the connection between your trafficking and the commission of the offense. So this doesn't just need to be, obviously prostitution convictions would count if you're being prostituted and you've since been a survivor and shown that you had a trafficker, this was something that was not necessarily under your control. That would obviously count. But it also includes less obvious things such as theft. If you go into a store and you stole food and you were convicted for it, either because that was your only means of surviving because you were being trafficked or because you were directed to do so by your trafficker for him or her, things like that would also qualify. So it's not just your obvious sex offenses when you're thinking about prostitution or trafficking, it's other offenses as well that you can connect to the trafficking, assuming you can prove that connection. From there, you need to show that you've removed yourself from the trafficking scheme, which sounds like almost that would be the easiest one, but quite frankly, sometimes your only option to get out of this type of victimization is sheer force of will, and that is so much easier said than done. So it does create this huge obstacle for women or men, if they've been trafficked, any person that is a survivor of human trafficking, to show that somehow, some way they have completely removed themselves from the scheme. And how you do that is by showing all the progress you've made since. You show, look, I have a job now. I have my kids, I'm taking care of my kids. I've completely removed myself from the trafficker, either they've been imprisoned or they died or somehow I just got myself out of the situation, and look how good I'm doing now. And that's how you meet that final requirement to show that you are completely removed from your own victimization. There's no concerns about you going back to that. And now that you yourself have turned over a new leaf, you're starting fresh, the legislature wants to reward you by also clearing up your record for that reason. So if you have been or are a survivor of human trafficking, I would definitely encourage you to pursue this type of relief, because if you've gotten out of that situation, you deserve it, and you should look into every option you can to put it fully behind you so that you can continue to heal. If for some reason you're watching this and you are not out of it yet, but you want to be, especially in San Diego and throughout California, there are so many resources for you that you can reach out to. So you can call us confidentially. Our number is 619-295-3555, and we will refer you to any resources you need to either pursue this type of relief or to help get yourself safe and get yourself the resources you need moving forward. So again, it's 619-295-3555. And if you have any questions about criminal vacature or your options as a current victim or a survivor of human trafficking, just give us a call.